Hello students. In this class, we are going to see about the functional units of computer. As we said in the last class, we discussed about the various terms and basic terminologies about software, hardware, assembler, interpreter, loader, etc. So apart from that, we next topic we are moving into functional units of computer. So in this functional unit of computers, there are 5 units of computers: input unit, output unit, central processing unit, memory unit, and the bus structure. These are all the different various units of computers. So the central processing unit is a basic unit of the computer. It is acts like say heart or a brain like a computer. For brain or heart for a computer, as for the human brain and heart are important, as like that only CPU is for the computer. In the central processing unit, we everyone know, in our every desktops, in the bottom of the day we are switching on and off through the central processing unit only. The power on and off connection connected to the directly central processing unit. It only perform all your activities, putting your Windows scene, that is a OS operating system screen, and if you are copying or writing or moving a file, deleting a file, suppose viewing a video, etc., whatever it may be, every actions are being controlled by central processing unit only. So this is a responsibility for everyone, every actions. So ALU is nothing but arithmetic logical unit for addition, subtraction, etc. Control unit means to control various action during read or write operations like that. So okay, this is the big picture of the functional unit of computer. So the 1946, all computers have these 5 components only. In your screen, you are able to see that this is a processor, as I said, CPU. The CPU is a control central processing unit. So central processing unit, it has control unit and arithmetical logical unit. So in center we are having the memory unit to store the contents and data information. So this is input unit where we are giving the input signals or numbers, characters, whatever it may be. Output signal is being transferred to output unit. It is having the monitor as well as the speakers. Suppose the video or audio files, whatever it may be, the inputs is visible to the screen, and the audio can we can hear through the speakers. So this is the big picture of the functional units of computer. So let me see the unit one by one. So as I said, function unit, this is the important one. There's all the computer functions which are here. Data processing, it is processing the data, storing the data, that is data, the storage, data being stored, data movement, the data is moved from one place to another place, and control of the data. Control means when the data should be moved, when the data should be deleted, when the data should be stopped at the period of time, whether the data is needed or not for the corresponding operation, etc. These are all the important functions you should know. As I said, the data processing, data storage, and data movement, these three types data information, these are all the data information. If we are analyze the data or being a data for information, the data should be processed first. What are the type of the data, what are being used, the data should be processed. Then the data, after the processing, the data should be stored. After storage, the data can be moved from one place to another place, like that, far from secondary storage device to primary device, whatever it may be. These are all the data information. And the control unit is nothing but coordinates the how the information is used, how the information is being used, that is control unit. So we are seeing the in the next slide that input unit, the input unit converts the external world data, that is whatever may be external world is the type of characters of nowadays it is accepting in all languages, English, Tamil, in Hindi, whatever it may be. You can give the world data, means the data can be given type any format understood by the human being. The data will be converted into the binary format after you are entering the data, which can be understood by the CPU. The example is keyboard, mouse, joystick, etc. The keyboard is used to enter the character. Mouse we can use the clicking operation. Joystick we can use for video games. Whatever it may be, everything in the input. According to your input only, the actions will be carried out. Output units converts the binary format of the data to a format that can man could understood, because you are giving the data as per your understandability. So after the data converted to the corresponding format, after the data processed, as I said, data analyzed, processed, and then stored. After then the data moved to you as output. You should see the output screen as in the laboratory we are seeing. So the output unit, we are seeing the data output, what is being we got as output. So it converts the binary format data to format that can man understood. What you are giving, you can understand. Suppose you are giving 5 plus 17 as input, it is understood by you. That, but it is converted into binary format, and then it will be transformed into the unit. After that, the output will be returned back to you. So it can be seen in the monitor, printer, etc. LED monitor, LCD, whatever it may be. You can see the corresponding answer. So as we saw the input and output units, as we know it very well, next we are dealing with the CPU. As we said, the CPU is the brain of the machine. It is everything. It is storing the details, getting the details, controlling the action, whatever it may be. Simply saying, it is like a director of a movie. The director only can do whatever it may be. He can stop the shooting at any time and change the scenery according to the only the hero or any person can act. So according to that only, the CPU is the brain of the machine. It is responsible for carrying out the computational tasks, whatever the task given by the humans or etc. Whatever it may be. So it contains arithmetical logical units controlling the registers etc. So all the logical operations performed in the CPU only. The control unit provides the control signals, whatever it may be. Suppose in addition or subtraction or any other operation, control signals may be needed for the corresponding actions to be controlled or ended or to start or initiate like that. So that at that point of view, the control signals are needed. The control unit provides all those control signals with the corresponding timings. So the register stores the data and result the speed of the operation. The register only you can store the data, fetch the data. Fetch means bring back the data. For storing the data, retrieving whatever it may be, registers are used. So the register are using here as a memory storage element. So next we are, for example, we see add R1 R2 means everybody all actions be carried out to registers only. In this add R1 R2, the data which is being stored in the R2 will be added with the value in R1. Suppose R1 having 5, R2 having 7 means the 7 is added to 5, the result will be stored. So only for this example they are given. So this is only control unit works. It gives various action, unidirectional, bidirectional. Unidirectional means single arrow means the data is from that side to this side. It will not return. Suppose sometimes the arrow mark will be two side means bidirection. Both input and output, that is inward and outward actions will be carried out. So it is the control unit also works with a reference signals called processor clock. So the processor divides the operation into basic steps. So every step will be executed based upon the clock cycle, that is the clock timing, etc. Like that only. So based upon the time only the actions will be carried out. So then we see about the memory. The memory, as we already know well aware about that, it store the data itself, everything. Memory is used for storing the data. Two classes of storages are the primary, secondary. So two types are also the RAM and read and write memory, ROM, read only memory, etc. So the primary memory is like RAM. It is temporary storage only. It will not store the data permanently. But the secondary storage devices are only used to store the data permanent, or in the mass storage as also permanent basis you can store the data in the secondary storage. So these are all the different types of units we saw so far in the function unit of computers. As we already said, basically you must understand with your mind that 5 units, input, output, and memory. The input output signal will be stored in memory. Then the CPU. In the CPU only we are having control unit and the arithmetic logic unit. This big picture will give you the functional units, which are all the different units which are present in a computer. Next chapter we see the basic operation of computer. In that, how these units will be operated under various conditions. Thank you.